Okay, so we're going to look at applying the arousal theories into sports performance and how that can affect the athlete's performance. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch a NCAA game. So what this is two college teams, so they're between the age of 18 and 21. This competition is the Final Four, so what we call the semi-final. So the winner of this will go through and be one of the top two teams in the whole of America. So it's a lot to play for. So where we are in the game, we're into the second half. There's only two halves in NCAA basketball. We've got 1 minute 19 left of the game. Memphis are the team in white, and they're in the lead. Okay, so the whites are in the lead by 4 points, so they're in control of the game. So what you'll see is they're just going to pass the ball around. What Kansas are doing is Kansas are trying to foul. So in basketball, Memphis would try and just pass the ball around and waste time off the clock. It's a bit like in football when you just want to wind the time down and keep the victory. So Kansas, to stop that, are going to foul Memphis. So they're hoping that the player will shoot 2 free throws, miss 2 free throws, they can get the rebound, fast break and score a layup. So it's a way to get the ball back. So far in this game, Memphis have been in total control. So you can look at relating them to the inverted U. They've been totally on point. This guy is taking really important free throws. So had he scored that free throw, it would have taken him up to a 3-point game and increased the chances of them winning. But he misses it. So you can say that this is his arousal level, either according to the inverted U, passing the optimal point, or you could potentially start to link it to the catastrophe theory that we looked at. Kansas, on the other side, are looking at the drive theory. So you can relate the drive theory to these. So they're losing at the moment, but they've just came back. Their arousal's on the high, and they've just managed to score that 2-point shot. So in terms of their concentration, their muscular tension, all their blood supplies go into their muscles, the shooting techniques on form, their concentration, they're deciding on the right techniques to follow, and that's enabling kind of Kansas, the Blues, to stay in the game. So we're looking at Memphis and applying potentially the catastrophe theory or the inverted U. Kansas, we're looking at the drive theory for them. So Kansas are buzzing for the fact they've just hit that 2-point shot. Memphis are starting to leak over that optimal point. So what you haven't just seen is that Memphis's one of their star players just been fouled out. So you can link that with the arousal theory as well on the start of the catastrophe. So we're down to 38 seconds. Kansas need to get the ball back. They're staying calm, they're staying composed, they're controlling their arousal. It's still Memphis ball. So you can see that was a bit of a sloppy decision, a sloppy drive and a sloppy pass. We're still down to 31 seconds. So we're looking at relating Kansas to the drive theory. Think about what's happening inside their minds at the moment and what's happening inside of Memphis' minds. So they're in the lead, they're in control of this game. So they do a crazy shot, Kansas have got the ball. So according to the drive theory, their arousal's increasing and their performance is just getting better and better. They miss the shot, and then they foul the Memphis player. So he fouled him on purpose and made sure he definitely couldn't make that basket. But think about Kansas in terms of their arousal level, it's still going up. So the fact that Kansas just fouled would mean that their arousal level is increasing. So relate that to the drive theory, so their performance should therefore increasing. Crucial free throws for this player. He's 4 from 5 tonight, usually one of the top free throws in the league, and he manages to miss it. So you could say this is the start of the catastrophe theory coming into action. His muscular tension is too tight, his muscles aren't getting the oxygen that they need, his concentration, he's not being able to concentrate on the task at hand, his decision making, he's not being able to decipher that shot. And the next free throw he misses again, so they were 2 crucial free throws. Memphis have managed to get the ball back, so again Kansas. Okay, so we've got 2 really important free throws. This is Derrick Rose. He was #1 draft for the NBA. He's an absolutely awesome player. Was then, is now. So he's about to take those 2 free throws. So we're looking at this arousal theory. So at the moment we're saying that that Memphis are looking at the catastrophe theory. So that star player actually missed the first free throw but made the second. So Derrick Rose, the one I was just speaking about. So again, you can relate this to that catastrophe theory or potentially the inverted U. So Kansas, now they're looking at the drive theory. They need to score a 3-pointer. So their arousal's just going up and up and up and up. So therefore their performances. And they make the 3-pointer for taking it to a draw. Okay, so we're in overtime, started back out, and there's a turnover straight away. Kansas have got the ball. So if we're looking at still talk about those theories, so again, an easy 2-point. Kansas are now in control and in the lead for the first point in this game. Okay, then a little bit later, you can see Kansas relating to that drive theory, what's going on in their bodies. They then get a nice dunk on top of Memphis. So think about what Memphis are thinking right now. They had the game in the bag. They were up by like 7-9 points with like a minute and a half to go. Now all of a sudden they're in overtime and they're down by 4. So that's linking the theories to it. And Kansas do actually go on to win the game in the end. So as you can see, Kansas go on to win it. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is a task. So you've got a breakdown of these kind of videos of what happened. So the fact that free throw was missed for the first shooter, the second shooter, the star player came on, made one, missed one. Then we had the 3-point buzzer for Kansas. Then we had the ball stolen in overtime. Then we had the dunk on. Kansas then went and got an easy layup. So we can look at linking the theories to that. So in here, I want you to use all 3 psychological theories and explain where they could be used in each of these scenes. When it comes to down here, you've got some things that happens to our bodies in terms of the effects of arousal. So these are muscular tension. We get blood flow to our muscles when we're aroused. So you can say that when it comes to taking those free throws, the athletes missed them because they weren't having enough blood flow that was going to their muscles because they were too aroused. Or you can say their decision making, that was leading them to make erratic decisions, so that's why they turned over the ball or left their defender open. Okay, so on here, using these 3 vital points, I want you to write in here and link to at least 2 points under each of these subheadings. So how did the missed free throws link with rhythm and control? So you can say that the reason why the Memphis players missed the free throws is because the arousal was too high, which affected the blood flow and the oxygen that was going to the brain and muscles. This then affected the control of that kind of set shot that they do in free throws. So because it affected the way the shooting technique, that then meant that they missed it. So in each of these boxes, I want you to try and talk about at least kind of 6 bullet points from here. So you're linking these vital areas of the game to these kind of effects of arousal on performance. So that's enabling you to analyse it. Once you do that, move on to the extension task at the bottom, which is